paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderous scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. I said certified freak. 7 days a week. Wet ass P word. Make that pullout game weak. Yeah, you effin' with some wet ass P word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word. Give me everything you've got for this wet ass P word. Beat it up, N word, catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top if I want to ride. I do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This P word is wet, come take a dive. It continues along these lines. And it gets significantly more vulgar. Like, a lot more vulgar.
Yeah, let's go with another Bieber broadcast. Oh, hell yeah. How's it going, chat? How you doing? How you been? We got a heck of a news day for you today. All sorts of crazy things popping off. America, what are you doing, America? You doing okay? All right, we're covering the news. We're gonna check out what's going on with the Scotus decision. I hear that Biden is live right now. So we're gonna get onto that almost as soon as this intro is done. But how are you doing? How are you doing? I hope you were having a lovely day. It's beautiful in Montreal and sunny. So I gotta get out there. You can see the sun pouring in. But it's gonna be a bad day. A bad day for the news. Bad day if you are able to make babies. This is not gonna be a fun stream for you. And even if you can't make babies, I don't know, you probably know someone who can. So everyone's affected by this. All right, so we're gonna get into it. It's not a good situation, everybody. But Roe v. Wade has been overturned, and this is gonna overturn like 50 years of precedent. 50 years of precedent in America. So we're gonna see, states deciding for themselves exactly like how far they're willing to go, like how far they're willing to legislate this, because now it's in the power of the states. But we got Biden, who is live, so we're gonna go check that out right now. We're just less than 5 minutes behind.
It's not hyperbole to suggest a very solemn moment. Today, the Supreme Court of the United States expressly took away a constitutional right from the American people that it had already recognized. They didn't limit it, they simply took it away. That's never been done to a right so important to so many Americans. But they did it. It's a sad day for the court and for the country. 50 years ago, Roe v. Wade was decided and has been the law of the land since then. This landmark case protected a woman's right to choose, her right to make intensely personal decisions with her doctor, free from the interference of politics. It reaffirmed basic principles of equality, that women have the power to control their own destiny, and it reinforced a fundamental right of privacy, a right of each of us to choose how to live our lives. Now, with Roe gone, let's be very clear. The health and life of women in this nation are now at risk. As chairman and ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, as vice president and now as president of the United States, I've studied this case carefully. I've overseen more Supreme Court confirmations than anyone today, where this case was always discussed. I believe Roe v. Wade was the correct decision as a matter of constitutional law and application of the fundamental right to privacy and liberty in matters of family and personal autonomy. was a decision on a complex matter that drew a careful balance between a woman's right to choose earlier in her pregnancy and the state's ability to regulate later in her pregnancy. A decision with broad national consensus that most Americans of faith and backgrounds found acceptable, that have been the law of the land for most of the lifetime of Americans today.
It's a big step back.
And it was a constitutional principle upheld by justices appointed by Democrat and Republican presidents alike. Roe v. Wade was a 7-2 decision, written by a justice appointed by a Republican president, Richard Nixon. In the 5 decades that followed Roe v. Wade, justices appointed by Republican presidents from Eisenhower, Nixon, and Reagan, George W. Bush, were among the justices who voted to uphold the principles set forth in Roe v. Wade. It was 3 justices named by one president, Donald Trump, who were the core of today's decision to upend the scales of justice and eliminate a fundamental right for women in this country. Make no mistake, this decision is a culmination of a deliberate effort over decades to upset the balance of our law. It's a realization of an extreme ideology and a tragic error by the Supreme Court, in my view. The court has done what it has never done before, expressly take away a constitutional right that is so fundamental to so many Americans that had already been recognized.
Demons.
The court's decision to do so will have real and immediate consequences. State laws banning abortion are automatically taking effect today, jeopardizing the health of millions of women, some without exceptions. So extreme that women could be punished for protecting their health. So extreme that women and girls were forced to bear their rapist's child.
Crazy. What are they doing?
The child, a consequence. It just stuns me. So extreme that doctors will be criminalized for fulfilling their duty to care. Imagine having a young woman have to carry the child of incest as a consequence of incest. No option. Too often the case, the poor women are going to be hit the hardest. It's cruel. In fact, the court laid out state laws criminalizing abortion that go back to the 1800s as rationale. The court literally taking America back 150 years. This is a sad day for the country, in my view. But it doesn't mean the fight's over. Let me be very clear and unambiguous. The only way we can secure a woman's right to choose, in the balance that existed, is for Congress to restore the protections of Roe v. Wade as federal law. No executive action from the president can do that. And if Congress, as it appears, lacks the votes to do that now, voters need to make their voices heard. This fall, we must elect more senators and representatives who will codify women's right to choose into federal law once again. Elect more state leaders to protect this right at the local level. We need to restore the protections of Roe as law of the land.
Oh boy.
We need to elect officials who will do that.
Can they do it?
This fall, Roe is on the ballot. Personal freedoms are on the ballot. The right to privacy, liberty, equality, they're all on the ballot. Until then, I will do all in my power to protect a woman's right in states where they will face the consequences of today's decision.
You can't do
Well,
anything.
the court's decision cast a dark shadow over a large swath of the land. Many states in this country still recognize a woman's right to choose. So, if a woman lives in a state that restricts abortion, the Supreme Court's decision does not prevent her from traveling from her home state to the state that allows it. It does not prevent a doctor in that state from treating her. As the Attorney General has made clear, women must remain free to travel safely to another state to seek care they need.
Interstate commerce law,
My
right?
administration will defend that bedrock right.
Wow.
If any state or local official, high or low, tries to interfere with a woman's exercising her basic right to travel, I will
To
do
travel.
everything in my power to fight that deeply
To
un-American
travel.
attack.
That's where we're
My
at.
administration will also protect a woman's access to medications that are approved by the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, like contraception, which is essential for preventative health care. Mifepristone, which the FDA approved 20 years ago to safely end early pregnancies and is commonly used to treat miscarriages. Some states are saying that they'll try to ban or severely restrict access to these medications. But extremist governors and state legislators are looking to block the mail, or search a person's medicine cabinet,
What?
control a woman's actions by tracking data on her apps she uses are wrong
Yeah.
and extreme and out of touch
That stuff is insane.
with the majority of Americans. The American Medical Association, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists wrote to me and Vice President Harris stressing that these laws are not based on evidence and asking us to act to protect access to care. They say by limiting access to these medicines, maternal mortality will climb in America.
It's
That's
already
what they
like
say.
it's already like one of the worst in
Today, I'm
G7.
directing the Department of Health and Human Services to take steps to ensure these critical medications are available to the fullest extent possible. And the politicians cannot interfere in the decisions that should be made between a woman and her doctor. And my administration will remain vigilant as the implications of this decision play out. I've warned about how this decision risks the broader right to privacy for everyone. That's because Roe recognized the fundamental right to privacy that has served as a basis for so many more rights that we've come to take for granted.
Yeah, they're coming for the LGBT
Ingrained in
community.
the fabric of this country.
Already at it.
The right to make the best decisions for your health. The right to use birth control. A married couple in the privacy of their bedroom, for God's sake.
Nope.
The
Sodomy
right
is going to be
marry the
illegal.
person you love.
Texas is bringing it back.
Justice Thomas said as much today. He explicitly called to reconsider the right of marriage equality,
Yeah.
the right of couples to make their choices
very.
on contraception. This is extreme and dangerous path the court is now taking us on. Let me close with 2 points. First, I call on everyone, no matter how deeply they care about this decision, to keep all protests peaceful. Peaceful,
Lol.
peaceful, peaceful. No
Lol.
intimidation. Violence is never acceptable. Threats and intimidation are not speech. We must stand against violence in any form, regardless of your rationale. Second, I know so many of us are frustrated and disillusioned that the court has taken something away that's so fundamental. I know so many women are now going to face incredibly difficult situations. I hear you. I
Mostly
support
poor
you.
black
I
mothers.
stand with you. The consequences and the consensus of the American people, core principles of equality, liberty, dignity, and the stability of the rule of law demand that Roe should not have been overturned. With this decision, the conservative majority of the Supreme Court shows how extreme it is, how far removed they are from the majority of this country.
Yeah, they see it's pretty rough.
Made the United States an outlier among developed nations in the world. But this decision must not be the final word. My administration will use all of its appropriate lawful powers, but Congress must act. And with your vote, you can act.
No, the church is
You can
part of the
have
problem.
the final word. This is not over. Thank you very much. More to say this in weeks to come. Thank you.
Boy, oh boy. Take questions. Take questions. Take a question. What law are you going to pass? Are there any executive options you can do? No? Yikes. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think that was the level of outrage required. You know, it's great that he can speak English well, but dang, what the hell was that? I understand both sides on this. I agree it's the woman's choice, but I also don't think it should be up to the Supreme Court. Well, Ferry, the really scary part, the part that is really hard to sort of digest. Men would freak out if the legislation was mandatory vasectomies at birth. Yeah, like as soon as you flip the genders, it becomes painfully clear just how ridiculously backwater and regressive this is. It's not a good situation. I'm pretty I don't know, man. So yeah, Ferry. The real scary part is when someone breaks a law in, let's say, Arkansas or South Dakota. Let's say tomorrow, a woman gets reproductive health care from a doctor, and she gets it in a state where it's legal. And Arkansas says, well, you broke a law by leaving our state and doing something that we prohibit. Now, this was something that kind of happened in the lead up to the Civil War, where the southern states were trying to apprehend this is where the advent of slave catchers came from. This is why they existed, was because black folk would try to escape the southern states to where they were free and northern ones, and then southern states would go fetch them. And it created one of the major conflicts between the states. So we're about to see like a replay of that. Yeah, everybody's pissed off at Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She really should have relinquished power. That was a massive blunder. Also, I'm actually just going to have this in the background while we chat. This is the Supreme Court. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Yeah, oh man. Obama let it slip through his fingers too. Yeah, well, like fundamentally, I just like, well, what do you do, right? Like they're running so roughshod over institutions and norms. Like one point people have made is that when Mitch McConnell refused to provide advice and consent on the Supreme Court nominee Merrick Garland, Obama should have just nominated him. That should have just been the it. You're just been like, okay, you're not doing your constitutionally required duty, then okay, I guess he's on the Supreme Court now. And yeah, it's just very much a what are you going to do about it kind of attitude. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at. There is a radical right-wing element like Supreme Court. Like this is 6-3, like even Roberts signed on to this bullshit. That's the part I don't understand. You know, it's like the craziest story I came across. My eyes were just, I could not believe I was reading this. It was from the conservative outlet, The Hill. Yeah, there's a couple big stories happening. I know Nancy Pelosi has said some stuff. But here, I got a really ridiculous article for you. Sorry, I didn't pull it up earlier. But look at this bullshit. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Lacey, this is a pretty popular, like, right. I mean, men can get it. Like there's enough men who have to be, I don't know how you say, like, mature about reproductive rights. You know, we live in a civil society. So yeah, look at this. This is an opinion by Alan Dershowitz, of all people, saying states can't regulate guns, but they can ban abortions. Why? And honestly, it's a good piece. But the entire time I'm just thinking, this is written by Alan This is written this is written by Alan Dershowitz. These are words written by how? But yeah, he basically, yeah, exactly, Lacey. Like, guns are more important than bodily autonomy, apparently. So, yeah, I won't actually read Alan Dershowitz. I don't want to signal boost him. He's quite the bad guy. But here are some reactions. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez: overturning Roe and outlawing abortions will never make them go away. It only makes them more dangerous, especially for the poor and marginalized. People will die because of this decision, and we will never stop until abortion rights are restored in the United States of America. Yeah, come on. Just kill the babies instead with guns? No, we're gonna arm babies. We're gonna equip them with weapons as they come out of the womb. Mandatory firearm practice. All right, this is Ronald Brownstein. All abortion in Texas, including in cases of rape and incest, will now be illegal by the end of July, 30 days from today. Quote, doctors could face life in prison and fines up to $100,000 if they perform abortions in violation of the law, per Texas Tribune. So, Texas has lost its goddamn mind. This is, I don't know what to say. Like, this kind of breaks society. People won't settle down. I don't know what to say. It's a really bad situation. Another reaction. There is, I wanted to hear Pelosi. Let's see what she can do. Can she pass a law?
Hearing from Nancy Pelosi now reacting to the decision by the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade.
In the Congress, be aware of this. The Republicans are plotting a nationwide abortion ban. They cannot be allowed to have a majority in the Congress to do that.
Yikes.
That's their goal.
Holy cow.
And if you read, and again, we're all studying all this, but if you read what is in the very clear, one of the justices had his own statement. It's about contraception, in vitro fertilization.
Yep. They're coming for it all.
Planning. That is all what will spring from their decision that they made.
Yeah, this is very dangerous.
It's such a contradiction. Yesterday, the states cannot make laws governing the constitutional right to bear arms. And today, they're saying the exact reverse.
Yeah.
That the states can overturn a constitutional right for 50 years, a constitutional right for a woman having the right to choose. The hypocrisy is raging, but the harm is endless. What this means to women is such an insult. It's a slap in the face to women about using their own judgment to make their own decisions about their reproductive freedom. And again, it goes well. I always have said the termination of a pregnancy is just their opening act. It's just their front game. But behind it, and for years, I have seen in this Congress opposition to any family planning, domestic or global.
Crazy.
When we have had those discussions and those debates and those votes on the floor of the House. This is deadly serious, but we are not going to let this pass. A woman's right to choose, reproductive freedom, is on the ballot in November. We cannot allow them to take charge so that they can institute their goal, which is to criminalize reproductive freedom. To criminalize it.
Like, most sane societies
right
would
now, they're
valorize
states that
women.
They can arrest doctors and all the rest. What is happening here?
It's fascism.
What is happening here? Woman's fundamental health decisions are her own to make in consultation with her doctor. her faith, her family, not some right-wing politicians that Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell packed the court with. While Republicans seek to punish and control women, Democrats will keep fighting ferociously to enshrine Roe v. Wade into the law of the land. This cruel ruling is outrageous and heart-wrenching, but make no mistake, again, it's all on the ballot in November. The Supreme Court has ended a constitutional right. This is 50 years proclaimed a constitutional right.
Yeah, this is the first time this has ever
What
happened.
today was historic in many respects. Historic in that it had not recognized a constitutional right and then reversed it. This is a first. And again, just before it imposed a constitutional right to allow for concealed weapons. How
Super
about
normal.
those justices coming before the senators and saying that they respected, sorry to cite the precedent of the court, that
Yeah,
they respected
that was
the
pretty
right
crazy.
of privacy in the Constitution of the United States.
Just overturned stare decisis.
Did you hear that?
Just whatever. No problem.
Were they not telling the truth then?
They were lying. Come on.
Again,
And we all knew they were lying at the time. That's what's so painful about it.
just getting to the gun issue, because really, in preparation for this morning, I was really in an exalted state about what happened in the United States Senate yesterday. Counterpoint to the dangerous decision of this Trumpian Supreme Court that they made yesterday, but a way to take us to, as the bill is called, community safety. The Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Right now, and I'm going to have to leave momentarily because we just finished voting on the rule, we will be debating the bill on the floor, and we expect a good bipartisan vote on it in the House.
Bipartisanship.
We congratulate the Senate on the
Oh,
work
boy.
that they have done and the timeliness of it to be passed in the Senate in a strong bipartisan way on a day when the court made such a dangerous decision. We will, many of our House
So-
Democrats' proposals that are included in this package are that
Gun legislation?
keep deadly weapons out of dangerous
Yeah.
hands by encouraging
Wow.
states to establish extreme risk protection order laws,
Holy cow.
ERPO, otherwise known as red flag laws, help put end to straw purchases, close the boyfriend loophole. So many good things are in there. And it's not everything that we want. And we must keep moving toward background checks, but universal background checks, which will save the most lives. But this will save lives. And to listen to Lucy McGrath and other family members of those who have lost their loved ones, this is a giant step forward. Maybe not so much a giant, but a strong step.
Oh boy.
And
Oh
if it's good
boy.
enough for them, then we rejoice in passing it. As I say to members all the time with legislation, do not judge it for what isn't in it, but respect it for what is. And there's much to be respected in this legislation. On a happier note, yesterday we celebrated 50 years of Title IX, which has transformed equality and opportunity in our country. Are you familiar with the words of Title IX?
Okay, no one
Yesterday,
cares.
the Billy-
No one cares. Nancy Pelosi. I'm sorry. Super boring. They just passed that gun law a few minutes ago. Otherwise, it's been a shit couple of days. For SCOTUS, yeah. Gun laws. Wow, they finally did it, everybody. The Congress kind of sort of works. Here is another reaction piece. Confidence in the Supreme Court is now at its lowest, according to a recent poll.
Heilman, I want to draw
Lib warning. Libs. Warning. Libs and reformed Republicans.
your attention to a new survey that Gallup took that shows confidence in the Supreme Court is lower now than it has ever been. According to the latest Gallup poll, just 1 in 4 Americans say they have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in the nation's highest bench. That's the lowest the number has been in the nearly 50-year history of the survey. The previous low was 30% back in 2014.
Yikes. That's dangerous.
John, just as you look at the data, you have a Supreme Court majority that on a lot of the hot button issues that Americans pay attention to and look to the court to, that
It was taken
wildly
before
out of
today.
step
That's right.
with where mainstream America is.
Are Republicans that sensitive? They need a lib warning? No, lefties need a lib warning. I need a lib warning.
Look at Roe, and you look at the 6-3 majority. You look at how this 6-3 majority came about, and it's no wonder confidence in the Supreme Court plummeting. Not just because of the outcomes of the cases, but again, something that Chief Justice Roberts has been worried about for some time, but because the court is disconnected from where Americans are.
Well, I think that's right, Joe. That's part of it. I think another part of it is not just about the outcomes in the cases, but is other things that go into people's perceptions of the court. I mean, there's no having watched the way, and in some sense, the legitimacy of the court is now a reflection of things like the way Mitch McConnell politicized the appointment process. You know, the way in which he refused to have a hearing for Merrick Garland, the way in which he then totally contradicted himself on what his principle was to get Amy Coney Barrett on the court at the last minute at the end of 2020. These are things that undermine, that give Americans a sense that the court is a political instrument, that it's been manipulated by politics, that it's wholly partisan. It's the case that a lot of the rulings of the court now do line up more along partisan grounds than they used to. You and I would say, if you look back over history, one of the great things about the Supreme Court is that Republican appointees would often rule in ways that were not conservative, supposedly, or liberal appointees, Democratic appointees would side with conservatives. You don't see that as much anymore. So the court is starting to look more and more like the rest of American politics. And then the icing on the cake, you see something like this controversy over Ginny Thomas, which, again, just drags the court further and further.
So crazy.
I understand she's not a Supreme Court justice, but she is a spouse of the Supreme Court justice. We've never seen anything like this before. The spouse of a Supreme Court justice now having been shown to have been actively working on behalf of overthrowing the United States government.
Nice.
Of a coup. We don't know what she's communicating with Clarence Thomas, but we know, that they've said they're best friends. And I just say that all of it piles on the sense again that the court is not special, that the court does not exist outside politics, that the court is just another polarized, politicized, partisan instrument. We can have a debate about how true that is, but that's what a lot of Americans think, and they have some evidence to work with.
Well, you look at, like you said, you look at what's happened over the past 5 years. You look what happened when Mitch McConnell said Merrick Garland's not going to get any hearings. You look at, and then he talks about a rule that prevents him from doing that. Then you see, after RBG passed away, how quickly he and Lindsey Graham threw that rule out. You look at the Kavanaugh hearings.
I think if I remember correctly, like before she was even buried, they had announced the nomination process for Supreme Court to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it was her express dying wish not to to have the person who replaced it be the next president.
Throwing in just insane rumors about rape rooms in Washington, D.C., high school parties, and people going to it. And yes, I'm not gonna make people happy here, but you even go back and look what the Democrats did to someone like Miguel Estrada, eminently qualified to be a federal judge, but Democrats just wouldn't put him in because they didn't want a conservative Hispanic in the D.C. circuit. All of this combined is made Americans over.
There's your lib stuff. There's your lib shit. He just has to throw in something on the other side to make to both sides to make it seem like Democrats do this too.
Time, think, you know what? It's just the Supreme Court is nothing more than an extension of the two political parties. So when I hear people on the far right saying, oh, don't even dare talk about messing with the complexion of the court or expanding the court by 1 or 2 or 3 seats. Why? That would undermine confidence in the Supreme Court. And nothing would, it's just such nonsense. Let's look at this Gallup poll again. Please, 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 don't tell me what will undermine confidence in the court. Yeah. The court and the Republicans and Democrats and senators in both parties over the past 25 years have done their fair share in undermining the sport. So if the court were to be expanded in the future by 2, by 3, and the way Jefferson expanded the court, and the way Jackson did, and the way Lincoln did, and the way some of the great presidents in American history have done, what's it going to do? Take that confidence from 25 to 22, 21, 20%? I'm sorry, you can't lie through your teeth, talk about a rule, a tradition that stops us from having Merrick Garland even get a hearing, and then lie through your teeth again a few years later and say, oh, wait, but we can put somebody else on. And then basically say, if Republicans take over this fall, doesn't matter who Joe Biden puts up, they won't get a hearing. Please, please. Right. The politicians have sunk it to 25%, John. It's hard for me to see how expanding the court would make those numbers go any lower. It would only piss off the far right. Is the only thing it would do. So please, let's stop pretending Republicans wouldn't do this if they were in the same position that Democrats are in.
Yeah, we can't piss off the far right.
And I'd say quickly, one, I don't know if there's anybody who's done more damage to the Supreme Court's reputation in America than Mitch McConnell. I just think you can't
How
say
about
enough
Clarence
times
Thomas?
How he got what he wanted. He engineered the 6-3 majority he now has, which he's proud of that legacy. But man, is he going to mind the standing of the court? And to your point, Joe, I don't think it's. I agree with you when you say, well, how much worse could it be if you added some justices? How much damage could that do? I think I agree with that, but I actually would go further than that. I think there's a chance. And I know that there are institutionalists who would never have accepted this idea before, who now say expanding the court is okay. I think there's a chance it could actually do something to restore confidence in the court. If there was a greater sense of balance on the court than what there currently is, I think there's a chance that that's the road back from where its current low standing is.
All right, John Heilman, thank you.
Yeah, I've seen versions of that, Krauss, where it's like, there's all sorts of different complicated versions I've seen. But yeah, some sort of limit to their power. Like the whole into death is so cryptic and bizarre. I don't understand. Like you created this really weird incentive where people are trying to like live longer and hang on to power. Like thank goodness Breyer stepped down so we can get Ketanji Jackson on. Like he did what Ruth Bader Ginsburg couldn't. But what a weird choice that you're having Supreme Court justices decide. Well, either way, if abortion's banned, it's okay because JP Morgan Chase will pay for you to travel. That's gonna fix it. Everybody, look, just work for a bank. You just gotta work for Jamie Dimon. You know, this is a very good person. Oh my God. Okay, so corporate America is going to fill in the gaps, everybody. Here are the states. This is what I was looking at earlier from the Guttmacher Institute. I'll make it bigger. Nearly half of states will effectively ban all or most abortions now that the Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade. So, yeah, the ones that are yellow has an abortion ban that predates 1973, so that will go into effect. So those abortion bans were being stopped, held back by the Supreme Court decision, Roe v. Wade. These ones will they already do it. They already ban abortions after 6 weeks. These ones have trigger laws. And then these ones down here have multiple laws banning abortion. Like Texas had some really messed up stuff. RBG should have retired when Obama was in office. She said she was going to retire if Hillary won. Bad bet. I mean, Krauss, she was working out. Who can forget this video? Oh yeah, baby, this is 2018. I remember watching this and thinking, that is not the sign of health.
It's no secret. Everybody.
So I don't want to get clapped on YouTube for this. I'm just gonna scrub. But here he does an interview with her, and then like they straight up go to a gym. Like, look at her, man. Like, she is not doing okay. Okay, she's gonna try to do some push-ups. Okay, like, you notice how she's not doing any of... Oh, here we go. Here we go. That's her trying to do a plank. I don't know, man. I don't know. This did not inspire confidence when I watched it. 2018, March 21st. Okay. Yeah, so like within a few years, she would die. Oh my goodness. So, I mean, yeah, she was known for having a fitness routine, but apparently not for being humble, I guess. Ah, jeez. I hate to put it all on her though, right? Like it's really the Christo-fascists we should be angry at, not Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I mean, she was still based. 85% of American voters think abortion should be legal in some or all circumstances, and that's remained pretty consistent over the years. So this is like a right-wing like minority. She had cancer twice by that point. Oh wow, okay, dang. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Seems kind of bad. Seems kind of bad.
The Supreme Court has
This is Toronto Star, so this is a bit more of a Canadian perspective. We'll see. We got a different opinion.
Ruled Roe v. Wade, the 1973 decision giving a nationwide constitutional right to end a pregnancy. The decision is expected to lead to abortion bans or severe restrictions in roughly half the states in just a matter of weeks. The outcome is similar to a leaked draft of the court's opinion that appeared in early May. That was written by Justice Samuel Alito. Alito concluded that Roe and a 1992 case, Planned Parenthood v. Casey, which basically affirmed the right to abortion, were egregiously wrong and needed to be overruled. The case now leaves states free to ban abortion. And as I said, about half the states are expected to do that. And in other states, the right to abortion has actually been expanded in recent months. The court's decision was really the culmination of decades of efforts by abortion opponents to undo the Roe v. Wade ruling. And it was really made possible by the addition of 3 appointees of former President Donald Trump to the Supreme Court.
More about control?
Before that,
yeah,
it would have been unthinkable for the court to take this momentous step.
Just misogyny.
Back at the arguments, Roberts suggested that he might support upholding the law at issue in this case, which is Mississippi's ban on abortion after 15 weeks, without saying anything about the fate of Roe v. Wade. In the end, though, a majority of the court was willing to take that bigger step. There's one abortion clinic in Mississippi, and it doesn't perform abortions after 16 weeks of pregnancy. The Mississippi law, which was enacted in 2018, was really enacted with the intent of challenging Roe v. Wade. It only sought to ban abortions just 1 week earlier than the clinic stops performing them anyway. The strategy was a bit of a long shot at the time because when the law was passed, Justice Anthony Kennedy, who supported abortion rights, still sat on the court, and so did Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Kennedy retired in 2018, Ginsburg died in 2020, and their replacements were both in the majority today to overrule Roe.
Oh, it's so fucking dark. It's so dark. It's so brutal. Shit. These are some reactions outside the court.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Clarence Thomas wrote a separate statement. Yeah, I covered that. I actually did I spilled juice. I did a TikTok earlier today where I covered that. I guess it's worth watching. Let's see. People are pissed. People are so pissed. Yeah, follow me on TikTok if you're not.
Roe v. Wade has fallen. The constitutional right to an abortion, a right that has been held for over 50 years, half a century in America, has been overturned by the conservative majority on the Supreme Court. It was a 6-3 decision with the majority being delivered by Justice Samuel Alito. Quote, "The Constitution makes no reference to abortion, and no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision," Alito wrote. So what's next? Well, 13 states have these things called trigger laws that will effectively ban abortion now that this ruling has happened. For some, it will be immediate, like South Dakota, and for others, it might take a bit of time, like a month, like Arkansas. In a concurrent decision, Clarence Thomas also set his sights on Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. What does this mean?
Blue.
Griswold v. Connecticut was a Supreme Court decision that essentially allowed for individuals to get birth control without a prescription and outside of marriage.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
Lawrence v. Texas was a Supreme Court decision where you could be LGBT without it being a crime. Yay! Finally, Obergefell versus Hodges outlined individuals to marry basically whoever they want.
Yeah, gay
A
marriage.
lot of people have been fearing this decision. It's a dark day for the civil liberties of women in America and frankly anyone who needs reproductive care, however you identify. This is also a deeply unpopular decision, and it was decided along partisan lines, so it's simply going to alter the fabric of American society for at least a generation to come.
So that's it. That was a TikTok. Can you believe it? Wow. So there's the protests. I'll look to see other responses and comments. I'm sure the pro-life movement is just loving this. Absolutely falling head over heels. David Pacman is live. Let's see what he's saying about this.
And our new members 64 and 65. Today's coupon code is RESIST.
He's so hard to watch because every time I try to watch David Pacman, he is pushing. Like, always like talking about the subs or who's joined or promoting the show. But look, he's popping off. That's good to see. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems like a bad way to go. I don't know what they expect. People are going to lose their minds. This is going to be a very hot summer. So this might be some hogs. Some hog watch. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I think I found a hog. Here we go. Good Fight Ministries, everybody. You know this guy's got base takes.
Movement. I don't know how many of you have gone to abortion clinics and preached the gospel out front of them, but typically the people that I find there are usually Catholic. They're praying the rosary out there. When it comes to the gospel message over and over again, it's almost a side note when it comes to sharing.
He's got like one of those YouTube silver things or whatever.
And it's heartbreaking to me because the truth is you can be pro-life all the way to hell. You could be pro-life and never come into a life-saving relationship with Jesus Christ. And the goal is the more and more people that come to know Jesus Christ, the less and less people will want to kill babies. And I think this is a great opportunity as we talk about this for us as believers to ask maybe you're someone that right now, maybe you can have children, or maybe you're at a place where, that's not really viable for you. But I really do, and I talked about this on 511 News this morning on the show we recorded yesterday. Regarding adoption, I think that adoption is a great place for believers to lead the forefront on that, and I know they do. It is true. But this is a great
you
time
guys
to
want to
really
adopt people.
show people that we do love these children that people are trying to kill.
Oh my God.
And the truth is, when we look at all the clinics and so many of these side arguments that so many people come up with over and over again, when it comes to, well, what about this? And I'm for life. Not just from the womb, but all the way to the tomb. And I think that has been prevalent in the church, that the church has been so vehemently pro-life in a good way.
Oh my God.
That so many of the churches here, I know.
They're salivating over this. They're absolutely gushing.
Oh my gosh.
This is who we're up against.
This is so amazing.
This guy's definitely a virgin. No, he just leaves room for God. The Christian side hub.
Trying not to cry. This is so awesome.
Man, yeah, praise God is literally trending. These people are insane. Absolutely unhinged. Absolutely unhinged. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Roe v. Wade is dead, and as a result, millions of children will live, from Representative Boebert. They are absolutely partying. I don't know, man. Like, I think this isn't going to go the way they think it does. Yeah, they're going to have a wicked high, but they've just galvanized everyone on the left, everyone, this is such a popular issue. And if Democrats lose and Republicans, let's say, sweep in the midterms, you think that government's going to be respected? No. Not after what we've learned from the January 6th Commission. And if Democrats win, do you think that election's going to be respected either? Probably not, given what we're seeing at the state level. So I don't know. I don't know how this doesn't just escalate into direct conflict. They've alienated a lot of people. Yeah, they're super high on their own supply. It's disgusting. I don't know. I'm extremely disappointed. I don't know what to say. This is such a foreign thing. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's so bad. It's so brutal. And this guy is painful to watch. Rip pro-freedom. You know how hard it is for a God-fearing family to adopt and make it almost impossible. Self-report. Jesse, son of Daniel, is not safe to adopt children, everybody. Big self-report right there. I don't hold to, but I'm understanding of theonomy more and more lately. Oh, God. This is what we're up against. This is the part I find so frustrating. Is they're not even that smart or organized. No, they're extremely well organized. That's the problem. And they're also not that smart. So yeah, I think I don't know. Do you think people are gonna do strikes? What are people gonna do? What do you do to fight against this? They're on the Supreme Court. The Vatican's Academy for Life praised the U.S. Supreme Court's decision on abortion, saying it challenged the whole world to reflect on life issues. Oh yeah, they still praise God. God has a plan, Lacey. All the priests they moved around, totally in God's plan. Super normal. Attorney General Merrick Garland called the Supreme Court's decision to strike down Roe v. Wade, quote, a devastating blow to reproductive freedom, and he vowed to use the Justice Department's authority to protect the right to abortions. What is he going to do? This is Boris Johnson saying it's a step backward.
Look, I'd be absolutely clear with everybody. This is not our court. It's another jurisdiction, but clearly it has massive impacts on people's thinking around the world. It's a very important decision. I've got to tell you, I think it's a big step backwards. I think it's a big step backwards. I've always believed in a woman's right to choose, and I stick to that view, and that's why the UK has the laws that it does. And actually, if you look, we recently took steps to make sure that those laws were enforced throughout the whole of the UK. Look,
I don't know if there's going to be any support for this outside like the religious minority. It's at odds with public opinion, 3/4 of women and about 2/3 of men. So
This decision must not stand. We will not let this stand. We will not let this stand. We won't go back. We won't submit. We won't submit.
even Boris hates it, man. Yo, like this is having me agree with Boris Johnson and Alan Dershowitz. Oh my goodness. That's how you know you're out of pocket. Yeah. Bare minimum. If these people understood how a conception works, they wouldn't be saying some things. Oh god.
This fight is for young girls and for young girls who want to control their lives.
We are not just marching today, we are marching till November at the ballot box. We have to vote to make sure that people understand that women can make their own decisions.
Conservatives in countries other than the US are much different. I mean, generally people look at Democrats and see them as conservatives. Like Democrats in America are right of conservatives in Canada. Like even our most right-wing party, let's say the PPC, only then are we starting to get like anywhere near like the Overturned window for I want to see the dissent. I want to see the dissent from Kagan and Sotomayor. Roberts, yada yada yada. Where is dissent? Oh, this is a huge. I see what's going on here. Okay, all right. This is like a really big. Oh my god, it's huge. It's huge. I don't know if we can parse this so well. I'm definitely not going to read all of that. Oh god, lawyers. They wrote hundreds of pages on this. Hundreds! 91% of rape, sexual assault are committed by men. I believe it. When I went down that road and looked into stats, I'm like, yeah, it's the dudes. Dudes are the ones. Make them stop. What is wrong with our culture? Yeah. So Kavanaugh said he would protect. Barrett said she would protect, and Gorsuch said he would protect Roe v. Wade. They all lied through their teeth during their Senate, or they parsed it really, really carefully and really like particularly. Yeah. Whoo. Yeah, not good. I don't know what to say anymore. There's going to be reactions and stuff, and I guess why women are not running the country. I don't know. I don't have to tell you, Lacey. There's definitely like an interesting study about how certain countries did during COVID based on whether they had female leadership or not. Like generally, like, you know, there's some exceptions to the rule, but generally, if you had a female leadership, your country did better during COVID. Jeez. Do we want to hear from Susan Collins? Oh, here's Senator Joe Manchin. I trusted Justice Gorsuch and Justice Kavanaugh when they testified under oath that they also believed Roe v. Wade was settled legal precedent, and I am alarmed they chose to reject the stability the ruling has provided for 2 generations of Americans. Oh my God, Manchin and Susan Collins absolutely surprised, like totally blindsided. Who could have predicted? Who could have predicted this to happen? Calls for mass walkout of women across America. So that could that could be good. I'm pretty sure this is it. Like I don't like if the whole like anti-trans bills or gay panic bills didn't stiffen your spine a little bit, this should. This is the clarion call for all lefties. Like, I'm sorry guys, we're at war. I hate to break it to you. It's happening. The moment Roe falls, every woman and girl in this country who values being able to make decisions about her own body should stop working in the largest coordinated protest in U.S. history that brings the entire nation and economy to a standstill. They'd re-implement it in a week. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I'm all for striking, but I don't think it's going to have an effect on that you think it will. It's not actually going to get the Supreme Court to suddenly change their decision. Is that all we got? Yeah. So there's going to be big protests over the weekend, I'm sure. I looked to see if there was one in Montreal, but I couldn't. There didn't seem to be any I could find, at least off, under short notice. And of course, Come to Canada is trending. We'll protect you. You can come to Canada where it's safe. Everybody, it's actually we're starting to get a bit of the crazy here too, which is not good. It's the opposite of good. It's generally the bad part. Yeah. So I guess Vosh is also talking about this. Let's see what he has to say.
These will range in severity from just restricting access to doctors to prosecution against people who perform abortions to, which will probably be the case in quite a few of them, just charging women who have abortions with murder. These charges will probably also be levied against women who have miscarriages under suspicious circumstances, which historically has been the case, both in America and abroad when severe abortion laws are present.
Yeah, that's the part that's crazy.
So
going after doctors and
course,
stuff.
It's going to. 13 states have triggered type bills. That means that they go into effect the nanosecond that Roe v. Wade gets overturned. So that's going to be cool and fun. Right, great, phenomenal. Of course, we should be reminded that literally no Republicans care about any of this. Republicans have abortions for their mistresses nonstop. The goal of this is primarily to control women and to sort of regress the gender and sexual dynamic to a point where...
Yeah, it seems pretty clear that this is about power. This is about trying to return to the old country, go back to the good old days when women were barefoot and in the prison, were in the kitchen. Yeah, I don't know. This is a bit of a bummer of a topic. I hate to say it. I was kind of hoping to go downtown and do a live stream of like La Fête Nationale du Québec. It would be a bit more festive. And then this news broke. So I definitely had to cover it. But yeah, these people are terrible. I don't even go into this. This is it, right? Like, miscarriages are incredibly common. Like, oftentimes women might not even know that they've had them. It's just like a thing that happens. It's just kind of like if you're familiar with any of the science or the medical situations that people with uteruses have to go through, then it's really hard to take some of these stances seriously. Like life at conception, all of that jazz. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a shorter stream today. I'm not really sure I want to stay inside when it's a bright blue, beautiful day. It's absolutely gorgeous out. I want to get out there, maybe do some slacklining. If I'm live again today, it'll be for cooking, maybe some rich food for poor folk. Do some like beef with broccoli, maybe. But I might just take the night off and just relax for a bit. Got things to catch up on, and otherwise I should be live tomorrow. So thanks for hanging out. I'll see y'all later. Have a good day. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves, and I'm sure I'm sure people are going to find some sense of community and togetherness to help us, all get through this. You suffered a miscarriage and can't father being prosecuted for it. It's such a painful situation. Yeah, Lacey, like, it's not even, you don't even go there. Like, I can't imagine tacking on, like, a police officer showing up at your door. Like what? Like, are you for real? There's just, like, yeah, I don't know. But I'm gonna see y'all later. You have a good one. Bye. Have a nice evening. I'll see you later. I got some music to come soon. New music. As soon as I finish. I've been working like every morning on it, but soon you'll be able to hear it. It'll be good. All right. Bye. Bye everyone. I'll see you later.